So we really need to be very aware of what, as Jeremy was saying, the values that are driving our governance of the internet, and make sure that it's underpinned by the human rights frameworks that we have committed to. And that's the great thing about the International Human Rights Framework, is that these are commitments that have been made, and they are common understandings, and we should use this framework to shape the internet. Unfortunately, as I said, we are seeing a downwards trend, and I'm sure as many of you are aware of the Freedom on the Net report, which is developed, researched by Freedom House and their a network of experts in various countries. And they have just released their latest report, which shows a downward, as I say, trend in terms of freedom on the net, more countries using regulation to clamp down on dissident speech, for example, more arrests for speech online, shutdowns, and censorship. And so this is a worrying trend. But as I say, and as we've just heard, it's up to us to shape it differently.
Again, I said this very firmly. I can remember the meeting in Jordan when we talked about standards on the Commission, and it's the standards bodies like the IETF and the W3C that Vint and Tim set up for the internet and the web. I think that's where I would go. And I would make sure they are more resilient, because my worry is that when the founders disappear, they'll die or they'll be absorbed. I mean, thank heavens no one owns the internet, actually. But I mean, Facebook would love to, they would absolutely love to be the whole internet. But I think we should put our muscle behind the standards bodies and build them up. That's the way, because the Chinese come to those. Right? They're really interested. And when you're talking at that level, you can talk quite impassionately. You can actually take the emotions and the values and the geopolitics out of it and just talk techie, which is fantastic. I love a meeting where you just talk techie, and yes, but it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, but you can if the politicians back that, right? Then I think that's where we would agree. And then of course that doesn't mean the other stuff goes away.
We have to place that technical conversation within the realities of what's driving our societies and the harms we're seeing in our societies, and the sorts of spaces we want technology and the internet to be in the future. And so I'm very pessimistic about a master plan for governance. I think you're saying the same thing. The thought that you would have a single treaty or a series of treaties that would govern all this, I think that we're a long, long away from that sort of reality. So
and it might not be what we want, actually.
Exactly. So I think we have to be focusing, as with so many things around technology and data, we have to be focusing on the things that we most care about, and making sure that we are aligned not just inside the UK, but with like-minded allies around the world and the approach to that, and that we've thought really seriously about the partnerships that we need to make that happen. And those are public and private, they're third sector, and they're academia, they're think tanks, and they're the citizen. And we have to have a different sort of debate, a more informed debate about where we want to go, given our values. So coming back to an organisation like mine, and in some ways I still feel it's quite odd that, director of GCHQ, a spy organisation for 102 years now of its history, is getting involved in these debates. But it reflects, I think, the way in which technology has morphed and its centrality to our societies. But it also reflects the reality of the sorts of things that we're interested in and where our skills lie.